It's time now for a bigger picture with Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. Hello, sir.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
I'm excited to have you in here. We're going to talk today about something that's fun to say, toxic compassion.
I just coined that phrase just before we came on.
That sounds like a name for a book, by the way. Because
it might be.
If I saw that on a shelf, I would say, I got to read that one.
Google it. Wouldn't surprise me if I'm just pulling this out of my head somewhere.
While you're doing this, I'm going to Google that. Toxic compassion. What is toxic compassion?
And we've talked a little bit about this before on a previous get-together.
Yeah.
This idea that what most of us want emotionally and unconsciously is we want sympathy.
Yeah.
And because we say we want to change, and it's not that we don't. It's not that we're being dishonest or anything like that. We actually do want to change. But in reality, what we need, what we believe we need emotionally, what we really want out of our interactions with others is admiration, sympathy, love.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. We all feel misunderstood. We all feel like, our life hasn't been fair. We all feel like it hasn't worked out the way it should have. And we really have this sense, and what we're looking for from the world, from others, is sympathy for that. And so, and then because that's what most of us need, we're very willing to give that to other people. Not all of us, but the majority of us
Oh,
are.
yeah, absolutely.
We're very willing to give it. And what happens is it turns into a kind of a toxic compassion, because what we're doing with each other is that toxic compassion makes things better in the short term. But what we're doing is we're sacrificing our long-term functioning and our long-term health and our long-term ability to be happy and fulfilled in our lives.
Yeah.
Because in the short term, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
If I'm giving it, I feel good about what I'm doing. If you're getting it, it really scratches that itch that you need for sympathy and understanding and those kind of things. But in reality, in the long term, nothing changes.
So it's not really helping.
Right. You're still stuck inside this problem. And a lot of helping, and again, the helping that we do is important and good. And I don't want to take anything away from anybody, but we need to be aware of this, because a great deal of the helping we're doing for each other, it can easily become a kind of a toxic compassion, where you're doing well in the short term and sacrificing the long term well-being, health, function, all of those kind of things, and that really needs to be where our awareness is.
Absolutely.
And we spoke a little bit about this in a previous
program
talk that we had.
Yeah.
This idea is that if we give somebody sympathy and love and understanding, they don't have to change anymore.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have to do anything different. They don't have to learn anything.
Yeah.
They don't have to learn and change and grow. They don't have to make a decision to do something different. They don't have to become something different than they are. You've actually given them exactly emotionally what they needed.
And that's like if somebody's driving the wrong direction and they stop, and instead of asking for directions on how to go the right way, you just tell them that, stay on the path, you'll be fine.
It's okay, you can turn around down there, don't worry about it.
But if they say, you're trying to go to Chicago, well, that's actually behind you. Mm-hmm. They would actually help you by telling you, you need to turn around to go the right way if you want to get where you said you want to go.
Right. And that's really it in a nutshell. You've hit the nail on the head. In order to get where you said you wanted to go, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Or this is the next step, it seems like. Or ultimately, this thing you're doing right now simply isn't useful.
Yeah, not at all.
And we have to become aware of this, because so much of the help and support and the attempts to be human with one another, we end up just reinforcing what's going on, and it becomes a toxic form of compassion,
and it's well-meaning.
That we use, and it is, and it's well-meaning, and again, I don't want to take anything away from that. Yeah. But you have to. The question you have to ask yourself is, in the long term, is this useful?
Yeah.
Because the idea is, I had a Episcopalian priest that I used to hang with in Sioux City back in the day. And one of the most useful things he told me, he said, he used to tell me, he would go down to the treatment center in Sioux City, and he would hear the fifth step of the alcoholics that were kind of moving through the program.
Yeah.
And he told me once, he said, I found it very useful when someone confessed to the same sin more than twice, if I accused them of bragging about it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because what they're looking for is that sympathy. What they're wanting is a level of compassion that has become toxic.
Yeah.
And what he was saying is that when you're stuck in something, when it's happening over and over again, we need to stop and put the brakes on whatever we have going on and look at it differently. And it's okay. The whole compassion thing, the sympathy, the understanding isn't going to work in the long term because we've been here before. This isn't changing.
Exactly.
And his thing was he accused them of bragging. That's how he handled it. However you want to handle it, but you need to do it differently.
Yeah.
Because if they're stuck, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you always got.
Absolutely.
Period.
I agree.
Do something different. Be useful in a way that is human rather than compassionate in a way that is unuseful.
Very nice. And the verdict is in. I went to the Amazon and I searched for toxic compassion, and there is not a book called that.
Ooh.
There is one called Toxic Empathy. So
Be similar.
Be looking for the upcoming title, Toxic Compassion, from Dr. Dan Burow. You do have books out.
I do have books out.
Maybe this could be your next book.
You can look me up on Amazon.
And I appreciate you coming in. If people would like to look you up to maybe come and see you for Sioux Falls Hypnosis, or for whatever reason that they want to reach out to you, because maybe they're going to say, hey, I want a copy of that book before it comes out.
There you go.
What is the best way for them to connect
You can
with
find us on the net at SiouxFallsHypnosis.com. You can call directly at 605-702-6691. You can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok and all of the fun stuff.
Again, SiouxFallsHypnosis.com. And if you're catching the tail end of this program, you can listen to this and every other program we've done. I think we're up to like 28 or 29 of these now.
Wow.
You can find them at SiouxFallsPodcast.com.